Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we delve into the lives of fascinating individuals, uncovering the intricacies of their character and the experiences that shaped them. Today, we turn our attention to Rodney Dangerfield, a man whose irreverent humor and unapologetic stage presence captivated audiences for decades. Born Jacob Cohen on November 22, 1921, in Babylon, New York, Rodney's early life was marked by a unique blend of hardship, resilience, and creative expression. As we explore the formative years of this beloved comedian, we find ourselves in the midst of the Great Depression, an era that would profoundly impact the lives of countless Americans. The year was 1921, and the world was still reeling from the aftermath of World War I. The Roaring Twenties were just beginning to take shape, with jazz music, flapper culture, and a sense of liberation sweeping the nation. However, for many families like Rodney's, the reality was far more austere. His father, Philip Cohen, worked as a vaudeville performer, traveling from town to town, entertaining audiences with his comedic antics and songs. Despite his best efforts, Philip struggled to make ends meet, and the family often found themselves on the brink of financial disaster. Rodney's mother, Dottie Teitelbaum, managed the household on a shoestring budget, stretching every dollar to its limits. She was a woman of remarkable resourcefulness, able to conjure up meals from scraps and create warmth in their small apartment despite the cold winters. The Cohen family lived in a modest home in the Kew Gardens neighborhood of Queens, New York, surrounded by a vibrant community of immigrants and working-class families. It was here that Rodney developed a strong sense of humor as a coping mechanism for the challenges he faced. He would often listen to his father's stories about life on the road, mesmerized by the colorful characters and absurd situations that Philip encountered. As a young boy, Rodney spent hours listening to radio broadcasts of popular comedians like Jack Benny and Eddie Cantor, studying their timing, tone, and technique. He was fascinated by the way they could weave complex narratives, crafting jokes that were both clever and relatable. Rodney's parents, though loving and supportive, were not immune to the stresses of their situation, and he often found himself seeking solace in the world of comedy. He would spend hours poring over vaudeville scripts, trying to understand the mechanics of a well-crafted joke. This early exposure to the art of comedy would later influence Rodney's own style, as he incorporated themes of poverty, family, and everyday life into his act. As Rodney navigated the ups and downs of childhood, he began to develop a keen sense of observation, often finding humor in the mundane aspects of life. He attended Richmond Hill High School, where he started to hone his comedic skills, often cracking jokes and performing for his classmates. However, his academic career was cut short when he dropped out of school in the 9th grade to pursue a career in entertainment. This decision, though potentially daunting, would ultimately prove pivotal in shaping Rodney's future as a comedian. During his teenage years, Rodney worked a series of odd jobs, including stints as a soda jerk, a laborer, and even a boxing instructor. These experiences not only provided him with a unique perspective on life, but also instilled in him a strong work ethic, which would serve him well in the highly competitive world of show business. As a soda jerk, Rodney learned the art of multitasking, juggling multiple conversations while expertly crafting milkshakes and sundaes. As a laborer, he developed a sense of physical resilience, working long hours on construction sites and warehouses. And as a boxing instructor, he discovered the value of discipline and focus, teaching young fighters the intricacies of the sweet science. It was during this period that Rodney began to develop his signature style, blending witty one-liners with a self-deprecating humor that would become a hallmark of his act. He started performing at local comedy clubs, testing out new material, and honing his stage presence. Rodney's early performances were often marked by a sense of nervous energy, as he struggled to find his footing in the competitive world of stand-up comedy. However, with each passing gig, he grew more confident, his jokes becoming sharper and his delivery more polished. The seeds of his future success as a comedian were being sown in these formative years, as he learned to navigate the complexities of his family life, develop his comedic voice, and cultivate a resilience that would serve him well in the face of adversity. As Rodney Dangerfield's career began to gain momentum, he found himself performing at some of the most iconic comedy clubs in New York City, including the legendary Copacabana, where the likes of Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin had once graced the stage. The Copa, as it was affectionately known, was a hub for entertainment, with its ornate decor, lavish performances, and A-list clientele. It was here, in 1967, that Rodney caught the attention of Ed Sullivan, who would later invite him to appear on his popular television show. This breakthrough opportunity marked a significant turning point in Rodney's career, as he began to transition from a relatively unknown comedian to a household name. The night of his Copacabana performance was one to remember. The club was packed with a who's who of New York City's elite, all gathered to witness the next big thing in comedy. Rodney took the stage, his signature raspy voice and quick wit commanding the attention of the audience. He regaled them with stories of his childhood, growing up on the streets of Queens, and his early days as a struggling comedian. The crowd was in stitches, and Ed Sullivan, who was in attendance that night, was impressed by Rodney's raw talent and charisma. Rodney's big break came on September 3, 1967, when he made his debut on The Ed Sullivan Show. As he stepped out onto the stage, he was greeted by a sea of unfamiliar faces, all eager to see what this new comedian had to offer. His performance was met with thunderous applause, and he quickly became a regular guest on the program. Over the next few years, Rodney would go on to appear on numerous television shows, including The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, The Dean Martin Show, and The Mike Douglas Show. These appearances not only helped to establish him as a major comedic talent, but also introduced his unique brand of humor to a wider audience. One of the most notable aspects of Rodney's career during this period was his relationship with other comedians, including Joan Rivers, George Carlin, and Richard Pryor. He often performed alongside these legends at comedy clubs and benefits, and their mutual respect and admiration for one another are well documented. As Rodney once recalled, "I used to open for Joan Rivers at the Copacabana, and she would always introduce me as the funniest man I've ever seen." This kind of endorsement from his peers helped to solidify Rodney's reputation as a master comedian. Rodney's interactions with these comedians were not limited to the stage. He would often meet up with them at legendary hangouts like the Friars Club, where they would swap stories and share laughs over drinks. In addition to his television appearances and live performances, Rodney also began to make a name for himself in the world of film. His debut movie role came in 1971 with the comedy The Projectionist, followed by a string of successful films throughout the 1970s and 1980s, including Caddyshack and Back to School. These movies showcased Rodney's unique ability to play both comedic and dramatic roles, often simultaneously. His film career was marked by a willingness to take risks and push boundaries, which endeared him to audiences and critics alike. Rodney's most iconic film role came in 1980, when he starred alongside Chevy Chase and Bill Murray in the classic comedy Caddyshack. The movie's success can be attributed in large part to Rodney's hilarious portrayal of Al Shervick, a boisterous and eccentric millionaire who becomes embroiled in a series of misadventures at an exclusive country club. The making of Caddyshack was a defining experience for Rodney, one that allowed him to tap into his improvisational skills and showcase his unique brand of humor. The film's director, Harold Ramis, gave Rodney the freedom to ad-lib and try out new material, which resulted in some of the movie's most memorable moments. As Bill Murray recalled, Rodney was a force of nature on set. He would just start talking, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be good." Throughout the 1980s, Rodney continued to tour extensively, performing to sold-out crowds across the United States. His live shows were always highly anticipated events, featuring a mix of witty one-liners, hilarious impressions, and self-deprecating humor. As he once quipped, "I get no respect, I tell ya. I went to a restaurant and the sign said, 'Breakfast anytime,' so I ordered French toast during the Renaissance." This kind of quick-witted humor had become a hallmark of Rodney's act, and audiences couldn't get enough of it. As Rodney Dangerfield's career continued to soar, he found himself at the forefront of the comedy world, rubbing shoulders with some of the biggest names in entertainment. His unique brand of humor, which often focused on his own personal struggles and shortcomings, had resonated with audiences across the country. With a film career that was gaining momentum and a live show that was always in high demand, Rodney had solidified his position as one of the most beloved and respected comedians of his generation. Despite his success, Rodney never forgot his humble beginnings. He remained true to his roots, often incorporating stories about his childhood and early days as a comedian into his act. This self-deprecating humor was a key component of his appeal, allowing audiences to connect with him on a deeper level. As Joan Rivers once said, Rodney was the people's comedian. He was one of us, and we loved him for it. As Rodney Dangerfield's career continued to thrive in the 1990s, albeit at a more relaxed pace, he remained an unstoppable force in the comedy world. His irrepressible energy and signature style still drew crowds, and his live shows were highly anticipated events that promised to deliver side-splitting laughter and unforgettable moments. In 1994, he took on a dramatic role in Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers, showcasing his impressive range as an actor and cementing his status as a comedy legend who could effortlessly pivot between humor and drama. As the years went by, Rodney Dangerfield received numerous accolades for his outstanding contributions to the world of comedy and entertainment. Later, in 2004, Comedy Central named him one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time, a recognition that solidified his position among the pantheon of comedy greats. Despite struggling with various health issues, including heart problems and kidney stones, Rodney continued to perform and entertain audiences with his trademark wit and humor until his passing on October 5, 2004, at the age of 82. Rodney's self-deprecating humor and willingness to poke fun at himself had become an integral part of his comedy style, endearing him to fans and fellow comedians alike. As he once joked, "I tell ya, I get no respect, even from my doctor." He said, "Rodney, you've got a bad heart." I said, "How bad?" He said, "You've got a heart like mine." This quick-witted remark exemplified his ability to find humor in even the most mundane situations and to laugh at himself, making him all the more relatable and lovable to his audience. Today, Rodney Dangerfield is remembered as one of the greatest comedians of all time, a trailblazing pioneer who paved the way for generations of comedians to come. His influence on the comedy landscape cannot be overstated, as he helped shape the genre and inspire countless other comedians, including Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, and Jim Carrey. These comedians, among many others, have often cited Rodney as a major inspiration, crediting him with helping them develop their own unique styles and voices. Rodney's impact on popular culture extends far beyond his own performances, with references to his iconic catchphrase, "I get no respect," appearing in everything from TV shows and films to music and advertising. His irreverent style and unapologetic humor have become ingrained in our collective consciousness, influencing the way we think about comedy and entertainment. For example, in the hit TV show The Simpsons, Homer Simpson's catchphrase, "Why you little," is a nod to Rodney's signature phrase, demonstrating how his comedy has seeped into the fabric of our popular culture. His unwavering dedication to his craft, unbridled creativity, and unapologetic individuality have inspired countless fans and comedians alike. Despite facing numerous challenges throughout his career, including struggles with health issues and personal setbacks, Rodney continued to push forward, always seeking new ways to innovate and entertain. His story serves as a powerful inspiration to anyone who has ever faced obstacles or doubted their own abilities, demonstrating that with hard work, talent, and a willingness to take risks, anything is possible. His legacy continues to inspire new generations of comedians, writers, and performers, ensuring that his influence will be felt for years to come. As we look to the future, we would do well to remember Rodney's unwavering commitment to his craft, his unapologetic individuality, and his tireless pursuit of laughter and entertainment. By embracing these qualities, we can continue to push the boundaries of comedy and creativity, honoring Rodney's memory while forging our own paths in the world of entertainment. That's all for today's Biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.